All right, welcome to Temple's Apprentice. We're going to jump in here and we're going to build a deck. The recent earthquake that we had here in California inspired me to do a landfall deck. Turns out actually the earthquake might have just been them tearing down a house at the other end of the block, but anyhow, we won't make you set through all this stuff, or we'll do this at double speed. So we're going for the Analyst, and I haven't played with the Duskmourn cards too much, so maybe I will try that and see how that goes. Let's see. Other things with landfall. Let's mill some cards into the graveyard so we can get as many lands in there as we can bounce out. And I think we need that little lizard. That little lizard from wow, I can't even think of the set now. They do them so fast. What's the set with the small animals? Bloomborough. Wow, that's a shame. I have to get magic advice from my wife now. Actually, that's a good thing. You've got more advice than that for me? I probably don't want that. Oh. Alright, so throwing a Gitrog in there. Maybe I will make a couple and throw in there. Though this kind of puts restrictions on this. I think by the time I'm done with this, I'm not going to use it. I don't have a name for this deck yet, but I'm sure by the end of this video, I will have a name for it. Landfall. We're going to see what else we can throw in here. We're just gonna skim through here and see. I don't want to necessarily attack the hands. I really need to lean heavily into. There's the little guy that I want. Get that Vinelasher in there. They're cheap enough, and the fact that it has offspring means that I can put extras on the board. Do I want any other enchantments? I think I want heavy land and creatures, and that's about it. I want it to do its thing, and do its thing well. So, surgical extraction. That's been used to great effect on me lately. I don't particularly care for it, and I don't keep up enough of the meta to be actually able to use that well, so we'll keep looking. Waste Nut. They're not going to be discarding cards, so let's just type out Landfall, see if that changes our search any. Let's go with Bill. Bill's always good to add, right? If you're going to do Landfall, you might as well get counters for it. Anything else here? Definitely Bristly Bill. We'll put 4 of those in there. We'll make advantage, use the Lotus Cobra to our advantage. I got shown that repeatedly this past weekend when we played a 4-way Windgrace battle. I could see all the cards that I was missing here. Let's take advantage. That's a 2-cost enchantment that will go on the board relatively easily. I could try going wide with a Scoot Swarm, but that's not really what I want. The landfall trigger, and I want it to have an immediate effect on the game. So going wide will give them a chance to board wipe and get rid of creatures. That's too expensive, though it puts 4/4 Beast on the field. Sack Outlet. Do we want anything that sacks? Actually, we want to make sure that our lands come in. Though I'm generally against lands that come in tapped. These newer lands give you colorless mana and then can be tapped and thrown away to find the land that you need. Another potential upgrade to my Windgrace deck. But we'll make sure to put those in there, and we'll go to the new Capenna stuff, which sacks itself as soon as it hits the board, to be sure to get double landfall triggers that way. And let's see. Make sure that we are getting indeed swamps and forest. Those are what we want for each and every one of them. And we'll worry about getting more utility lands later. But right now I just want to dump as many lands in as we can that are going to bounce, sack themselves. We have the Crucible of Worlds already in there, so we can bring things back from the graveyard. And we have all the lands that we need. Deserts. Yeah, that seems good. And uh-oh. I've been informed that my coffee doesn't taste right. It's not bad. The sugar's what makes it delicious. Let's just get into a game now and see how this goes. Thank you for sitting with me this long, even. I promise it pays off watching this game. I hope. Well, at least by the end of this, we'll have a name for the game. Or rather, a name for the deck. We're up against White Life Game because that's all there ever is in the meta. We'll go ahead, sack this, get a swamp right away so we can put our Vinelasher out. I'm actually not overly concerned with making his offspring. One Vinelasher should be enough to get value out of it. So let's well, that was an interesting choice. I guess because I expect them to be playing removal, I'll put this down. Maybe the Vinelasher would get taken out the second he hits the board, since I see red on the other side. We'll put a juicy target out there and see if they choose to get rid of Bill. I would be sad if they got rid of the Analyst or if they get rid of the Vinelasher. I can see they're really... This coffee's fine. What were you talking about? Anyhow, they were really thinking hard about taking out Bill. Yeah, there we go. I would have been sad if I got any of the other creatures, so that's a good play. I will take advantage of this, and we'll start the engine. I can't say that because start the engine means something entirely different now since the Aether Drift stuff came out. That was weak. One land in the graveyard is not what I wanted to see. But I can mill a few more in there and hopefully get to the 4 mana that bounces all the lands back. We'll see that. Wow, they are taking a mighty long time to decide what to do. Alright, so they're going to start building their board state. I really expected more direct removal at this point, but if they're not going to, that's fine. So, this will only come down, this will give extra counters. The other one only comes down with 1 counter on it. Let's mill some more into the graveyard. Or let's do both. We'll put this on the board, and we'll mill now more to the graveyard. We'll hope for another land next turn. That's pretty weak. There's only 2 lands in there to retrieve. I don't think I need to swing. I want this deck to dirtle around until it does something. And then when it does something, I want it to do something big. So, I also want the flippin' phone to stop ringing. And of course it's in my pocket and I'm sitting in a chair and thank you.
Oh, you just hung up on her.
That was a mistake. So, getting back to the game at hand, we'll see. Okay, as long as they're building their board, I almost feel bad for them that they're not getting the mana, except I see the synergy they've got coming together. Let's do this where we can get mana back from the graveyard, find one that bounces. Yep, that's right. The other phone is ringing now.
Well, it's because you didn't answer your phone.
And so we'll cash in on a little bit. Let's put a +1 counter on there so they can't remove it. We'll sacrifice this and go for another +1 counter. And there we go. All right. So. So.
Okay, try 5195.
Let's see where we're going here. Okay. Wow, they are going wide and they're starting to build up. So. And let's see. We're almost to the end of it right now. We're going to drop this in here. And we're going to go ahead and try to get those lands into the very end. And let's do this. We're going to bounce it. And let's go ahead and throw that on there. He's not going to do anything, but just in case they go in for a big swing, I want to be able to block it. And let's see, where are we going here? A little bit more damage. And do we want to swing in? No, that would be ridiculous. We want to be able to bounce those lands back from the graveyard. So I think we are set up. I think it's going to happen. I'm very scared that they're going to swing at the very... Oh, they will swing. All right. Yeah, I knew that was going to go in the graveyard. Well, let's get some more land cards at this point. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and... Okay, we got 1 land out of that. That's not great. Let's go ahead, pop the Aftermath Analyst, and we'll see how it happens. All right, all the lands come back, and let's see exactly how big we get. We're going to be well beyond that lightning bolt range. We'll put a counter on there, put another counter on there, and another counter, and watch those counters add up. I think we have a name for the deck. Let's name the deck based on how much damage we can possibly inflict. First of all, we get them, well, I would say within killing range, but this having trample, going through, yeah, it's definitely death. Death on 2 legs. I love it. Anyhow, thanks for sticking around. Sorry about the craziness for this. As always, if you need some magic cards, be sure to shop Dark Ritual. I actually have a TCG Player store that you can find. The link should be in the description below. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Probably from Arizona.